Hi everyone, I continue assembling the car from Cyberpunk. In the last part one mounted wheels on it and slightly clipped the arches, and also had a ride along the workshop if you can say so. In the same part I'll cut out the hood and the boot from the body. If necessary, I'll remove the loops and the locks. This means that the body will no longer rise and finally can twist to the donor. Because I'm really tired of constant lifting of the body when I need to get into the hood space. We still need to rasp away the back of Mazda, remove the tools compartment. Let's talk about those things one at a time. First I want to cut one hood detail out of the whole body. To make this I need to lift the car again and level it up. If we'd start cutting the hood first, then all the dimensions will be wasted for the wings and will disperse to the sides. Therefore we need to fix them by screwing to Mazda's body. I'll make this using a shaped tube from which I'll make the brackets. Cannot say for sure whether they'll stay here forever or I'll change them over the time for other ones. For now I'll twist them temporarily on the self-tapping screws. Welded everything in place as the fiberglass was already leveled. Thus we managed to fix the fiberglass wings. Now we need to choose the hood shape. It'd be great to leave the shape of the original Mazda's hood. The loops and the lock will remain in their place. There are air pipes on Quadra's hood that directly pass along the lower line, and I want to give the rectangular shape to the hood as in the original, so I decided to make it this way. I'll leave the loops right where they are since there's no place to remove them, and here is a sign with a VIN number nearby. I'll move only the lock closer to the bumper. First I marked the hood attachment places with a masking tape and began to measure the cutting line from them. I decided to mark the lines with a thread. That will be much even. I screwed self-tapping screws around the perimeter of the future hood and tied a thread to them. Then I drew a cut line along the thread with a white marker. After that the thread is no longer needed, and you can cut the hood detail using the angular grinding machine. The main thing is not to hurry so that the cutting lines didn't get wavy. I cut the corners with a fret saw and removed the hood. It's very convenient to have such large hood. You can easily reach any detail, and I guess there won't be any difficulties with the fiberglass fixing either. After all, I'll make a decorative strap and everything will look neatly. The only failure is that I missed with a couple of centimeters. The loops can't open fully and touch the body. At the last moment, I moved the cutting line a bit lower as it seemed better to me. Later we'll see how the cut detail will open. Maybe the loop's amplitude will be enough for such hood. I made such kind of brackets that will first be screwed and then most likely be glued to the fiberglass. Till now they'll be probably enough cause the hood has normal thickness and webbing. But still you can always make a reinforcement frame along the perimeter. I put the hood in place and then screwed it to the brackets using the self-tapping screws. I tried to open the hood, and while opening it hit the windshield strap. No longer thinking, I decided to remove it as it wasn't needed and would be an obstacle in the future. During the opening the loops touch the body, and to my opinion this height is not enough for the hood. It'll be better to cut the body for loops a little. These parts will be eventually stuck to the hood. Now the hood opens till the end and abuts against the loop limiter. We can even put it on standard stop. Before aligning the cover in relation to the body, it's worth to install the lock so that the hood would be fixed in the lower position. There is no point to install the lock mechanism in its own place, it simply won't be possible to be reached. I'll move it closer to the bumper for convenience. I decided to make a bumper bracket together with the lock attachment. Wanna place the attachment on the longerons as they already have the embedded nuts on them. I made a print with a sheet of paper and transferred it to the metal slab, from which I cut out some details for the attachment to the longerons. The shape tube will be welded to these details. To attach the bumper to the bracket, I screwed the embedded part to it. With the help of these details, the top of the bumper will be attached to the bracket. In order the hood couldn't go down, it needs the stops and the lock. I'll start from the first ones. The standard ones won't be suitable for this, and I took this type of stops. They are adjustable and the height can easily be adjusted with them. I immediately placed them on the embedded part and screwed them all together to the hood. The traps were made from the cut-shaped tube. The hood became higher than the bumper, but this can be corrected by adjustment. There goes the lock. I didn't know that the lock mechanism flips the hood up. All that time I thought that stops did it. But everything is for better. This moment won't need to be configured. I placed the lock on the welded bar. Screwed a brace over the lock on the embedded part. After several unsuccessful adjustments, it became possible to find the needed position of the lock and the bracket. We also didn't have to lengthen the cable release, everything fitted fine. Got finished with the hood, now I need to make the boot. I lowered the car and pushed it forward. Now I want to solve the problem with the back bumper. It doesn't suit me. In the future I want to remake it similar to the original, which looks like a grill. It'll be easier to install the optics and align the lanes between themselves. In order it cannot interfere, I'll cut it off. Before cutting out the boot, we need to attach the upper part of fiberglass to the body. There are two ways how to make the back cover, and it depends on whether you need to remove the boot loops or not. first I didn't want to remove them, but after I marked two variants on the fiberglass the picture became clear. The first variant is large, according to which you don't need to remove the loops, but I didn't like the way it looked. The second version is smaller and successfully fits into the design, but the loops should be transferred. After some thinking I decided to choose the second variant and transfer the loops. Still, it'll be more correct and the boot lid won't be so remarkable. I pulled out the casing and noticed that there was almost a straight-through hole under the felt. This was most likely caused by condensate, as exactly under this place there was a silencer. I cleaned everything from bitumen and left as it was. Then I welded the new platforms for the loops. I'll remove the pressed bolts from the loops because they are short. Instead of them, it's better to make a hole. I tried on the loops in their places. It turned out that they steal the space in the open position as well. The cover is 10 centimeters away from the edge. Two captive-shaped tubes were attached to the loops to which the boot cover will be mounted. This variant isn't good for this. The cover became distorted. It'll be necessary to weld the frame by welding two more pipes to the embedded plate separately from the body. I set the gaps approximately and screwed the cover to the frame. The lid touches the body a bit, but I think it can be adjusted. To align the planes, we need to fixate the cover with the lock. For this purpose, it should be removed about 7 centimeters up. This lock already has a drive and opens with a button, so everything works as at front. I'll transfer it with a mounting plate. Tried on the bracket and made some fasteners for it directly opposite the lock. The lock in its place so the lid can be screwed and leveled. Everything turned out perfectly. I'm glad I've transferred the loops. The water outflow troughs will be made when I'll start with the embedded parts and give the details their final forms. Now the third stage, we need to remove the tool compartment so it cannot stick out over the bumper. But before this we need to remove the silencer. It's very convenient that the engineers envisaged such kind of its removing. The connection rusted with time, but I still managed to remove the silencer with some effort. Then I removed the heat shield. We need to cut everything that is below the red line. This is just the floor level of the boot. As the spare wheel isn't provided here from the outset, I'll cut this compartment off too. Instead of it, there'll be an even floor. I haven't decided yet how to attach it, so I screwed it on a couple of self-tapping screws. Generally it can be attached with the rivets, then primed and covered with the liquid rubber. The side parts of the floor were welded to the body. We got a good smooth floor. Optionally, we can still put a spare wheel in this boot. I cut everything off like it should be, but still want to check how it will look with a bumper. The bumper line is a couple of centimeters lower than the boot floor, as it was intended. Now there's left to make the doors. It'll probably be a difficult task, which I'll deal with in the next part, cause this part is already breaking all the records in duration. It seems to be just a hood and a boot, but it takes so much time. Thanks everyone for your attention. If you like it, put your thumbs up, write down the comments and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next part.